Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And today we're reviewing
Legends of Tomorrow.
Season 3, Episode 1, Aruba-Con. So basically, obviously, last season it kind of ended with them in Los Angeles. They kind of made a big point of them being in Los Angeles, but they could have put them anywhere because they had all the different buildings everywhere, but whatever, it's still classed as LA. Like, the extras were terrible. There's one thing I do remember, the extras were terrible, like... Because like in the background there was I think two of them, and they were dashing away from something, and then they kind of did a curve into the middle of the road because it panned out and you got the legend walking down the road. They were dashing down the sidewalk and then they went into the road, and then they started walking real slowly like they'd forgot what they were doing, and then just kind of strolled in front of the legend. So yeah, dinosaurs are running rampant. And that's it. That's it. They could have put a couple more animals in there instead of just like dinosaurs.
Budget, mate. Budget.
Yeah. So it looks like the dinosaur's just about to eat them, and then like a cool little time door opens and zaps them back, and then Rip introduces himself as like the leader of the Time Bureau. Though he says he created the team, but it looks like that stern woman is like more in charge than he is.
Maybe that's the story of Rip's life. He was meant to be in charge of Legends. He lost his ship to a stern woman. You never know. Man's always backing down.
So yeah, so he lays the cut and is just like, look, we don't need you no more. Off you pop. And then they all go back to their lives.
I've seen some people complain about that. And you know, it is true that all the CW shows have quickly cut away from last season. Arrow did it with a time jump, and Flash did it, and the show's done it. This one doesn't bother me at all. Do you really want another episode of them dealing with dinosaurs? The last one was crap and pointless. We don't need another one. So yeah, I don't mind.
There wouldn't be anything much to it anyway. It's like, what, they're going to be walking around and like doing what? And then they'll just turn up anyway and then zap the dinosaurs back and be like, look, you've been wandering around for days trying to deal with this. You ain't done nothing. Now we've cleared it up. And then they go back to their normal lives. So yeah. And I guess Mick's unaffected because, in the words of Fleetwood Mac, he went his own way. So here's an Aruba chilling out on his flex. And then he kind of bumps into Julius Caesar. So that's kind of his deal. But then when they kind of go back to their normal lives, it takes a while to kind of get everyone in there. Because, I mean, you've got Sara at the start, and she's working in, you know, the copyright infringement-free alternative of Bed Bath & Beyond. Like sinks, toilets and whatever, and she's kind of getting mugged off by her manager, and is like, oh, you should thank me, you're lucky you got this job because you've been reported dead twice. So we're like, well, how does that affect my employment thing? You know what I mean? So yeah, and then they do like a kind of like imagination thing where she jumps on him and just kind of slits his throat. I was like, oh, that was a bit extreme.
They've gone full on comedy. It's not a problem for me. They've gone meta as well, like super meta on the whole CW thing. I thought the rape armor thing was funny.
Yeah.
Not only is he out of time, but the thing about Felicity running this company into the ground.
I'm glad they kind of talked about that because, yeah. Because I was wondering what she does. Yeah, I guess she got ousted then. So
that was an entire thing on Arrow. I can't remember the whole thing now, but that was an entire thing on Arrow, wasn't it? She got ousted from the board or something.
Well, I know they were kind of like, it was a bit of a deal, and then they kind of invented that implant that made her walk again. And then I figured, oh, now they've developed that, Parmatech are happy with her, but I ain't seen her there. But I pay so little attention to her.
I think that's part of the gag, though. is that she's meant to be in charge of Power Sec, but we never really see her doing anything. So the gag is that she's just wrecked the company.
Yeah, well, birds of a feather flock together, because, I mean, Oliver messed up. There is no Queen Consolidated either. So they're both kind of gone. So, yeah. Yeah, he's in Silicon Valley and is going on about how now his shrink technology is even better now. So I wonder if he kind of still needs his suit. Because I swear he's like advanced it that he could do other stuff now as well as biological things, and then the guy's just like, oh, whatever, we're focusing on this app where you swipe up as opposed to swipe to the left or right. Now I'm trying to think, like, you don't really find out what Jax is doing till a little later on, and I guess is like doing mechanical stuff.
Any hanging around with Wally West?
No, that was Steel guy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Citizen Steel. So he's kind of, I guess, crime fighting in Central City, and Wally's kind of his boy, you know what I mean? But he's doing that. Amaya went back to her village in the 1940s, so it's all over for him. So yeah, which I'm kind of pleased about, because that whole romance thing was a bit batty in the second season. So just like,
it was better than.
I think because he's a douchebag.
Yeah, he's a funny character, but it's like he is kind of a douche.
Nah.
Yeah, he is. He works well. I will take him her all day long over the Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
I like his friendship with Ray. I like his friendship with people, but when he kept going on about, oh yeah, I've got to be super chill and not come on too... When they started doing that, I was like...
that's what I mean, though. It's kind of a douche. It's funny.
I didn't find that funny. I was just like, oh, this guy's annoying. Like, I guess they overplayed it, and it weren't charming at all. There was nothing to it. So I like his friendship with people, but when he was like sweating, it's like, that ain't hot. So yeah, get her out the way. Forget about the romance stuff. The friendship stuff just works way better on this show. The kind of camaraderie and the friendship is like, you don't need no woman like on her flex. So yeah, and then Martin Stein's kind of like just give up altogether, and because his daughter's pregnant, and like him and Jax kind of meet up every so often so they can do their fusion things, so none of them kind of melts down. But apart from that, is out of the life. So yeah, if you'd like to continue with the plot.
Well, basically the three especially, in it, it's there's time aberrations all over going on apparently, and what's her face, Sara, history guy Nate, and Brandon Ralph Ray, they all want to get back on the ship, right? Because they're miserable. I guess they've been out of time for so long they just don't fit in anymore. So they go to Rip to get the ship back, and Rip says no. But then I think concurrently that when Julius Caesar strolls up to what's his face?
Yeah, strolls up to
Rory, Mick.
Yeah, and then like I'm trying to they decide, oh yeah, because the ship's like a training thing now. So yeah, they get the ship back and they decide, oh, we're gonna grab Caesar, and then kind of bring him back, and like then we're gonna get our jobs back because they kind of need us. But they end up, because there's like a beach party going on, they get like some other guy just dressed up as a Roman, and then Rip's just like, oh, you're mugging me off, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, knock it off. But it turns out Caesar is going about. So
because at first I thought that's what the entire thing was actually going to be. I thought the real Caesar was a fake Caesar, and that was going to be the gag. But I guess it turns out he was the real Caesar, and he's not the villain for the season, is he? That's not what they're setting up, surely.
Who, Julius Caesar? Nah.
Yeah.
Because they kind of fix it all, don't they? So basically,
Do they?
Yeah, they kind of end up, after a lot of like mismatch whatever, they end up getting Caesar, taking him back to his own time, but Nate leaves a book there, so he got a book of the kind of the history of the Roman Empire, and then obviously Caesar picks it up, reads it, and then learns about the Ides of March, how he's going to be betrayed, and how he can kind of conquer the whole world, because they kind of get a ship and look at the map and realise that the US isn't the US anymore, and then they've got to go back and get the book, and then like they send the Time Bureau in there, like the Stern woman and their team, and she ends up getting kidnapped, and they go blah 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 blah. Long story short, they end up getting the book back, like clearing their memory, because they're like doing a march, aren't they? They're marching back to wherever so Caesar can deal with Brutus, and then like I guess like Firestorm starts blasting them, end up getting the girl back, and then zapping their memory, and then everything's cool.
Oh yeah, they've got a Men in Black thing. Why did no one call that out?
And then yeah, because then like after all that kerfuffle and they get back to the ship, the legends like Mick's jacked the bracelet that can open doorways. He jacked the Men in Black thing, and then I think he jacked something else, but I can't remember what it was. So yeah, now they've somehow got all the tools they need. I guess Ray Palmer will reverse engineer the thing and then make it for all of them, so they can all open up portals, so they can go on their own like mercenary thing to fix time. And then Rip Hunter makes like a point about some Mallus guy that they're gonna need to neutralize, and then the after credits thing, well not after credits, the end's like Amaya back in her village and there's a bunch of poachers there, and she uses her necklace, and I guess instead of being able to summon one thing to kind of enhance her strength, she summons like multiple animal spirits to fight on her behalf. So I guess she's super powerful now. I wonder what that means. Like, is she gonna end up, is like, well, like, is this going to be like a more mystical kind of thing, in the sense that the fact that now she's super enhanced now, maybe like there's going to be some kind of mystical thing?
I don't know what it means, because I got to assume she's going to end up back on the ship with the legends, but also they seem to be giving a lot of screen time to the woman who was hanging out with Rip. So I was thinking, like, are they setting her up to go on the ship or something? So I don't know where it's going to go long term.
Well, I think they do that to kind of, because expand upon the Time Bureau, in the sense that like when it comes to them, it's not just going to be like conflabs with Rip. It's like, oh, I've got my team as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's just there to be like, oh yeah, it's not just Rip, there's like someone else there as well who's kind of sassy and got her head in her brown. Let's talk numbers.
I thought it was good. I know I felt better about it than you did. I still think this is of the comeback for the CW shows, to me this was the best one. It was the most fun. It's the one I had the most fun with. It's the one I enjoyed the most. I like the fact they reinforced these guys are basically just a bunch of losers who somehow managed to make it work. I thought it was funny. I don't really know where they're going for the season, but at this point, I don't really care to.
I think that's why I kind of had the problem with it. They've hinted at someone being like a problem for the Time Bureau, but apart from that, there ain't been much to it. I think because I guess they dragged out the whole Caesar thing and stuff like that, but I guess they needed to show that the legends are still relevant with the Time Bureau around. So I guess it's kind of like, a government team, and then you've got like a group of mercenaries and kind of the arbiter between them, even though it's a bit more friendly because Rip's like their boys. So it could work, but I think really they needed to, this was more of an episode to be like, if you forget everything else and just kind of focus on the Time Bureau and the legends, that's the future of where the season's going, so they kind of had to build a rapport between them, and the events of the episode is how they did it.
Yeah, there's been a soft reboot for all of the show, maybe not Supergirl, but for most of the shows. I think this is the one that's the most overt, though, in terms of repositioning everybody, setting up Rip. It's way better to have Rip off the ship. Yeah, we were saying last season, he just felt like kind of a hanger on last year.
It was it's like a great character though.
He is, but he's a character you can't have taking orders from Sara, but she works better as a captain, so this is a better solution.
They were like, look, it's kind of, we don't need him on the ship anymore, but is that much of a good character that we don't want to lose him in the show. So here, look, they messed up everything, so we're the more professional ones and stuff like that. But obviously, because the time spent with and he's kind of a renegade himself, you know, he went against the Time Masters and kind of assembled the legends together, so he's never going to turn his back on them. He's kind of, I think he was looking for an excuse to kind of be like, look, these guys are still relevant, so they can hang around and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's their boss. He's like, oh, I don't know, he's like Nick Fury or something, you know, in the Avengers, but a ragtag bunch of Avengers.
Yeah, so it's way better. 7.
Okay, I'll give it an 8.
Okay. I'm being stringent with it because, I mean, I know the next few episodes, I know going on, I think maybe it was just this episode and the tone, I don't know, but I think I'm going to enjoy it way more after this episode. I think for me, this was just like, I didn't love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I know in the future, I'm going to love it. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you next week.